Let's get into the ALCS, Brig. Let's start there. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Because it's been a wild and crazy ride down in Texas.
I'm telling you.
Certainly has been the wild, wild west. The
Yes.
wickety wild west, for those of you who know, right?
Yes. Oh, jump in the comments and tell us if you got that joke, baseball family. That one was the highest of quality.
Thank you. Anyway, so as it stands at this moment, the Rangers are leading this series 2-1. Okay. Game 1 was an interesting one, right? Like Jordan Montgomery went out there, the Rangers won 2-0, but Montgomery tossed a gem, 6 1/3, 5 hits, no runs, just 1 walk, and struck out 6. And a team that doesn't strike out very often, 6 strikeouts in 6 1/3 is quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot. I agree.
And then on the other side, you had Justin Verlander pitching for the Astros, and I thought it was crazy. It's just like, well, shoot, here you go. He pitches 6 2/3, gives up 2 runs. One was on a bloop, one was on a bomb. But that was the difference, right? Like,
yeah,
and sometimes that's all it takes. And
right,
I was shocked that the Rangers were able to just completely shut down the Astros in that first game, just entirely.
couldn't believe it myself. I'm still shocked.
Well, this is the thing though, is we weren't shocked for too long though, right? Because we went to game 2. Yes, the Rangers won that one 5-4, but it was a little more interesting. I felt like, right?
It was way more interesting. Yeah,
the Rangers jumped out on Framber Valdez early. He only lasted 2 2/3, gave up 5 runs, 4 of those earned because he himself had an error that ended up leading to a run. 7 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. It's so crazy. Like, man, the dude gave up 5 and pitched 2 2/3, but he still struck out 6.
Yeah.
If they weren't putting in play, if they weren't getting on base, they were striking out. So
yeah,
he kind of did what he's supposed to do. But the Rangers needed that early 4-0 cushion. They ended up winning, like I said, winning 5-4. The Rangers bullpen kind of reared the ugly side of its head, right, late in the game. And I was like, oh, shoot, here we go.
Yeah.
This is what we've been waiting for. They managed to hold on to the lead. But this is the thing that I think happened, Brig, and let me know if you think I'm out of line with this. Okay. I think what happened was the Rangers bullpen's inability to get outs and make it let the Astros be competitive kind of woke a sleeping giant. Let it kind of get out of bed and start moving in the right direction, because they say hitting is contagious. All it takes is a little bit of confidence going through that dugout, and then everybody starts hitting. And then we saw it in game 3, right?
That's exactly what we saw in game 3. Houston came to play and just dominated. 8-5 was the final score, but that doesn't really do it justice, because I thought that the Houston Astros, not only offensively, even defensively, just really had their stuff together. They were not gonna lose game 3. It felt like there was I don't know, there was just no chance. So they jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the second. That certainly helped. Then they tacked on one more in the third and another in the fourth. Rangers scored in the fifth, and that cut the lead to only 3. But after that, dude, it was just bang, bang, blow by blow. Mm-hmm. Every time Texas did anything, Houston responded. And it was just, I mean,
yeah, it felt a little bit close there at 5-3. It was like, oh, or 5-2. It's kind of like, okay,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
But then it was like 7-3. All right, 7-5. Well, maybe, but
yeah,
the 8-5. It felt like the difference was more than 3 runs.
It felt like 10-5 is what it felt like.
Yeah, yep. It
to
did.
me.
Yeah, it sure did. I think you're right. So I don't know. I felt a lot less confident about my Texas pick after that game. I still feel like they can win it, right?
Right.
Because as of this moment, a home team has not won a game in this series.
Right.
And the Astros are way better on the road than they are at home, which is mind-boggling.
It doesn't make sense.
Maybe it's because of the batter's eye. I don't know.
It could be.
right?
It could be that
It doesn't
batter's
seem to be
eye
a problem
problem.
for anybody else,
No,
but for
no.
them, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, I'm not sure.
I'm
But
not gonna make those jokes, but yeah, I have jokes. You probably know the jokes I want to make, but I'm not
yeah,
gonna.
yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. That's been a pretty wild series, seeing what's going on back and forth. Game 4 is going on at this very moment. If you're not watching or paying attention or are curious what the score is at this moment in the show, 3-2 Astros in the middle of the third. The Astros got 3 in the first, and the Rangers got 2 in the second. Off of a couple of hits, a homer from Garcia and a sac fly from Young. The Rangers, though, really had an opportunity, though. They had
Yeah.
one out, with runners on second and third. They should have been able to capitalize on that and tie the game, but you know how it goes.
They should have. But what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah,
So
yep. But
there's.
it
Go ahead.
feels like it so far. It feels like a much closer game,
Yeah,
much
it
much more
does.
competitive
And
than
we're
Game 3 was,
yes,
despite
and
3
that's
runs
what
early for the Astros.
honestly, that's what we want, right?
Yeah,
Like, unless your team is involved, you just want to see competitive baseball. We just want it to be fun,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Exactly
And
right.
this game so far is fun. And we'll get into NLCS in a minute because tonight's game was super fun. But before we do that, I got a couple of things I want to bring up. The first is that David Ortiz has gone and offered a nickname to Jordan Alvarez, who's been just killing it
That dude
for
doesn't even hit
Houston.
singles anymore,
No,
and he
it's
doesn't get out.
amazing.
That's the baffling thing, is he just gets extra base hits.
It's crazy. So David Ortiz, his bigness, or Big Poppy, I call him his bigness,
I
but Big
like his
Poppy,
bigness.
yeah, has nicknamed Jordan Alvarez Baby Poppy. And I just want to know, Brad, is this like some like glorified, nickname that's this tremendous honor, or is this some sort of underhanded thing that puts Jordan Alvarez in his place, or is it somewhere in the middle where it's like, cute, you're good, and also I'm still the best?
I honestly think it's a pretty high compliment from Big Poppy to put his nickname on somebody else, because Dwight Howard got into the NBA. I don't know if you remember this whole thing or know about it, but Dwight Howard got in the NBA and he wanted to be called Superman. Shaq is Superman,
Correct.
right? So, and Shaq even told him, he's like, no big fella, I'm Superman. I think is how it went, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like this whole big thing. And I know Jordan Alvarez hasn't put this nickname on himself, but
Right.
I think it's a pretty big honor for somebody to put their nickname on him. Did you know there's actually a kid in the Mariners system they call Baby Jordan?
No way.
Yeah, he's faster and has a better arm, but he has just as much power
That's
and is
awesome.
an amazing hitter. So
That's
I'm
really
excited
cool.
for that kid to come up in a couple years.
Yeah. Here, baseball family, in case you didn't know, you're not allowed to assign yourself a nickname. Okay,
That's right.
let's just
Yeah.
that's a law. And I almost just let go of the editing we make very a priority on the show. It's a law. I feel very strongly about this. You cannot give yourself a nickname.
You're absolutely
Okay.
right. Yeah, no, it is absolutely a law. Like, you should do time if you give yourself a nickname.
It's right. Social justice will come after you in the form of criticism and ostracization.
Hey, we have a tie game. Tie game
No
in
way.
Arlington.
Yes.